What is going on, team? Welcome to another episode of the Thrive Forever Fit Show. I'm your host, Jay Nixon, and I hope you are having a phenomenal day. If this is your first time listening to the show, just want to give you the quick details. The mission, purpose, and reason we do this show is to disrupt the current way you think, inspire you to think differently, and give you the tools, the knowledge, and the resources to transform into a new level of thinking that propels you to that new level of awesomeness that you deserve and hopefully desire. Today's episode, I'm going to be honest with you, I probably should have done this show a year ago, but it just hit me today out of the blue. Now I'm flying straight off the cuff today, no notes, no nothing. But here's the deal. Today I want to talk about the value of your routine, the value of the basics, the value of the little things. Because here's the confusion. Everyone thinks that there's value in the routine on the perfect Wednesday morning. And that's true. I mean, you should do your beautiful morning routine on the gorgeous Wednesday. But you're going to find the true value of a routine when chaos is around. You're going to find the true value of routine when you're in a state of overwhelm, when adversity has been presented, there's a challenge on the forefront. That's when your routine, and I'm going to explain routine a little bit more in a second, that's when it becomes essential. It's important to do it on the perfect days, but you're only doing it on the perfect days so that you can do it in the midst of chaos. Let's use a sports analogy for a quick second. If any of you have played sports, high school football, basketball, college football, basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever it is, in the practice wasn't the chaos, right? Practice was the routine, the monotonous repetition of getting yourself prepared to do the plays, getting yourself to do the things that are going to set you up for success on a routine, consistent, and almost non-thought process basis. What I mean by that is I couldn't really articulate that sentence very well, but I mean it should happen subconsciously. That's what you want your routine to become, something that's almost subconscious to you, that you can do it with almost not even having to think about it, like brushing your teeth in the morning. So the practice is where you learn those routines and you get so repetitious and so good at those routines that you could do them in your sleep. So that when game time comes, because that's where the adversity shows up, right? Because the game is always more complex or more changing or more adverse or more challenging than the practice, because in practice, it's a very controlled environment. During the game, there's unknowns. And that's when the routine becomes essential, is when the unknowns are presented to you. But here's what we do as humans. When an unknown is presented, when uncertainty is presented, when a challenge or adversity is presented, we fall off of our routine. We don't focus on the very thing that sets us up for success. I'm going to use 2020 as a perfect example of that. Many of you listening before 2020 were crushing the game. You were crushing the weight loss game. You were crushing your nutrition game, your fitness game, your mindset game. Your personal development was on an all-time skyrocketed high. But as soon as we were presented with we'll call it the dumpster fire of 2020, you moved away from the very simple things that got you those massive results. See, here's the problem with us humans. We think that in times of great chaos, in times of overwhelm, that the solution must match the adversity in complexity and in size. It's the complete reverse of that. It's the simplicity of our actions, of our routines, of the things we do that are what get us through the chaotic times. If you think about it, in times of any kind of like massive uncertainty, the best thing we can do is keep it simple. because we're already in a state of fight or flight because of, the amygdala is triggered in the brain. We go into the state of fight or flight. What do? Holy shit, everything's going wrong. And all we really need to do is go right back down to that granular basis of our basic routine. Now, if you're part of my program, the Thrive Forever Fit program, you know that we have some simple step-by-step things that we do on a daily basis, some simple systems and processes and programs that we follow so that when the shit hits the fan, we're ready, we're prepared. But what happened was the shit hit the fan and you didn't stay consistent with the very things that made your 2019 probably the best year of your life. And so you can see where this is it's a misconception on our part. We feel like our energy, our output, our programs and processes need to be expanded to match the level of chaos and the level of adversity. It's completely the opposite of that, guys. And so as we are into 2021, some things are still chaotic. We're still coming out of that. I said to Lori the other day, we have zero concept of the ramifications and the magnitude of the mental, emotional, psychological, and even physical damage that this last year has brought to the world. We have no concept of it. Over the course of the next 1 to 10 years, you are going to see, I'm going to say some shit right now that's going to suck to hear. You are going to see an influx of everything that we've been trying to avoid for the last 100 years. You're going to see an increase in drug addiction. You're already seeing it. You're going to see an increase in suicide. You're already seeing it. You're going to see an increase in mental health problems. You're already seeing it. We already have a rampant over prescribed amount of antidepressants. And I'm not saying antidepressants are not valuable and they don't have their place, but if we got back to just some simplistic routines and some things that we can do from a physical and a mental and emotional and psychological level that don't require pharmaceuticals, some of those interventions wouldn't even be necessary. But we're about to see a rampant increase in the prescribed rate of antidepressants. You're going to see an increase in cancers. You're going to see an increase in diabetes. You're going to see an increase in all of the disease states that we've been trying to stifle and minimize and mitigate for the last 100 years. Why is that? Because the psychological, emotional, and mental and the physical damage that we've done to ourselves over the course of the last year is so unknown at this stage. I'm seeing it on a very granular micro level, just with my clients, local, the United States, Canada, Europe, Australia. I'm seeing it all over the country. I have clients in every continent, but I have clients all over the world, guys. And I'm seeing it happen in every place in space. So it's not just a United States of America problem. This is a worldwide epidemic that we have no idea. We have no concept of the damage that has been done and that will be unfolding upon us over the course of the next 1 to 10 years. Now, I want to shift gears because I don't want this to be a doom and gloom type of show, but I just want to be very honest and real with you and let you understand that you've got an option, you've got a choice. It's time to put the brakes on all of that. And the way you put the brakes on chaos, the way you put the brakes on overwhelm, anxiety, depression, and all those things, right? Because it's a certain level. So in the world of psychology, they look at the spectrum is this. The top of the spectrum is flourishing. Is a human being flourishing or are they depressed? And then there's everything in the middle. There was just a New York Times article that came out that one of my clients sent me a couple of days ago. And it was about that middle ground that didn't really have a definition. And that middle ground, they labeled as languishing. And it was the state of really just it described the state of 99% of the people that I speak to. a state of confusion, a state of overwhelm, a state of, I don't even know I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to say. I don't know. It's a state of sheer, I don't freaking know. Right. And that's between flourishing and depression. But that gap is massive. And I'm here to tell you today that there's a few things that you can do, that you must do to get out of that place and space, because that's what I consider no man's land. You can't stay in there, guys, because eventually you will start to down regulate toward that depressive state of being. And that my goal, my mission, my purpose, my passion is to keep you away from that, because I know the closer you get to that, the more damage is going to be done from a physical, a psychological, and emotional, a you level. And I can't let that happen. And so I'm here today just to simply tell you this. It's in the little things that you're going to find the most success. It's in the tiny, the little hinges that swing the big doors is what's going to make the biggest difference. And it's the simplicity of those things that is going to get you out of that languishing state and closer back to that flourishing state. Now, I know if you look at the world and you look at your outside ecosystem, it doesn't seem like anything's really flourishing right now. It seems like the world in and of itself is in a languishing, maybe even closer to a depressive state. But I'm here to tell you that you can control your internal ecosystem. And that's the most important thing for you to do right now. You've got to go unbelievably granular. You've got to start auditing your inputs. That's the number one tip I will give you, is audit your inputs. What are you allowing into your brain? What are you allowing into your life that is negatively impacting everything? Your psychology, your physiology, your physical body, your emotional, your mental, all of those things. Take an inventory. What am I allowing in? Ask yourself this question. What am I allowing in that is not serving me? I'm going to be very honest with you. It might be the news. It might be the internet. It might be social media. It might be the wrong people. You know, we get so sensitive about the people thing, right? Because we love our people. But sometimes our people aren't the best for us. So all I'm going to say is, if you've got people in your close personal circle, that when you leave those people, or you get off the phone, or you get out of a contact with those people and you feel worse than you did before you got into that conversation, maybe it's time for a pause. Just a pause. Not a big deal, not a breakup, not a shakeup, just a pause. So maybe it's the news, maybe it's the internet, maybe it's the people you're surrounding yourself with. Audit your inputs and do two things. You either immediately implement, or you immediately delete. If it's not going to serve you, if it's not going to move you closer to flourishing, then I need you to delete it right now. I need you to get it out of your ecosystem. Because if you don't, it's going to start to build, and it's going to start to fester, and it's going to start to grow. And that is what is going to create that languishing effect inside of you that is going to prevent you from getting out of this place. So either implement it if it's positive and powerful, or delete it if it's something that's not right for you right now. If you're somebody who loves the news, I'm not asking you to never listen to it again. Actually, I am asking you that. But if you can't commit to that, just pause it. I'm not asking you to never use the internet again. I'm not asking you to not be a social media freak. I'm just asking you to pause it. I'm asking you to not ingest those things that are causing you internal chaos. The next thing you need to do is you need to get uber granular with your routine. Like, that's where you're going to find the gold. That's where the magic is. The routine is valuable inside of the chaos. That's when you're going to create your granular ecosystem that's going to move you from languishing back to flourishing. And it's as simple as this: your morning routine. What do I do every single morning? I have for the last, I don't even know how many years, I write my gratitude down every single day. The first thing I do when I get up, and I don't care if it's raining, if it's windy, I don't care where I'm at, what I do. It's the first thing I do every day. It's part of who I am. It's part of my internal peace creating system. And I did that all through 2020. Even in the midst of the craziest outputs and inputs that were going on, I never deviated from that. The second thing you need to do, guys, is you need to make sure that you are nutritiously feeding your body. This isn't going to be a nutrition podcast, but you need to look at the things you're consuming and understand that they have an effect on your mindset. The foods you eat affect the way you feel, think, act, everything. It's been scientifically proven. So what you put in your body, if it's garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. And it's not just garbage out from a physical standpoint, it's garbage out from a mental standpoint. When you treat yourself like a garbage can with food, you feel like a garbage can. You think like a garbage can. You can't articulate the way you can when you have nutrients in your body, when you're fueling your body. So make sure you're taking care of yourself in that. Maybe it's time to take a look at the booze. Maybe it's time to cut back a little bit on that. Listen, I'm not telling you not to have some cocktails. I love a good glass of bubbly. I'm not going to stop drinking some champagne here and there. But maybe it's time to pause that. Maybe it's time just to put the brakes on that a little bit. Maybe go from the bottle down to a glass. Maybe not have it every night. Maybe save it for the weekends. Those little shifts, those little pivots make a massive difference in your life. It's time to look at your hydration from a different level. Jay, what does hydration have to do with the way I think? You think about that, guys. Your brain is encased inside of this like cavern, inside of a case, for lack of a better term. And if you're not hydrated, your brain's not hydrated. Everything in your body needs a certain level of fluid in order to operate at its highest capacity. Make sure you're consuming enough water. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things you can do to eliminate overwhelm. I know that sounds super crazy, but when you don't sleep, your body goes into an immediate state of fight or flight, and you begin to become irrational. You don't make the best decisions. Sleep-deprived people are not the people you want making decisions for you. So if you're sleep deprived, you don't want yourself making those decisions for you. And that's what most of us have been for 2020. We've been a sleep deprived, overfed, undernutrified, lack of movement and exercise type of population. And look where we are. Just take a look around, take a listen around. The way people are speaking and thinking and talking and acting is not healthy. The way people are looking right now is not healthy. And I'm telling you, the ramifications aren't even in front of us yet. We haven't even seen how bad this is going to get. And I hope if you're listening to this, you understand that you've got the option to pause and stop that. You've got the option to go the other way right now with a decision. So let's talk about moving your physical body. I'm not talking about joining a CrossFit gym. I'm just talking about moving your body on a daily basis, changing your physiology. For you, it might be going for a walk. For some of you, it might be getting your butt back to the gym on a routine basis. I can tell you this, my clients that have consistently shown up throughout this at the studio, working out, are in a better place and space psychologically than those that didn't. And they're obviously in a better place physically than those that didn't. Get back to it. I've had a conversation with a lot of people and they're like, well, I feel so ashamed of what I let myself do during 2020. Don't be ashamed, friends. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We've all gone through something that we've never gone through before. There's no playbook. Nobody knew how to handle it. I don't care who was advising you. They were just spitballing. That includes me. I was showing up every single day telling you, let's go, let's go, let's go. I got you. We can do this. It's going to be okay. It's going to be over soon. I was wrong about a lot of shit, right? I didn't know this was going to keep going on. But my belief system was this, like, I've got to be positive in this dark place because that's what people need right now. If they want the negative, they can find it. So what I need you to do is I need you to get in that positive place and space with me and understand that, like, whatever you did during 2020, if you gained 25 pounds, if you gained 50 pounds, if you gained 100 pounds, it's okay. It's totally okay. And there's not a damn thing we can do about it. But what we can do is use that as an opportunity instead of as a shame-filled adversity. is that instead of a shame-filled story of beating ourselves up, that's not going to serve anything. I'm here to tell you that is a complete waste of time and space. I would like you to shift your energy around that and use that as an opportunity. Now you know what happens in a state of chaos. You know what happens to you in a state of this massive uncertainty. So we've done that. It's okay. Everybody in life makes mistakes. Some of the most successful people I know have had some of the most shameful past that you could ever think of. And they've used that shameful past and now turned it into a triumphant future. And they don't repeat those same behaviors. See, that's the only issue, is when we continue to repetitively repeat the behaviors that made us feel shameful. There's nothing wrong with falling and failing. Everybody falls and fails. We all have a plan. It's like Mike Tyson said, right? We all have a plan until we get punched in the face. We had a great plan. We got punched in the face. Some of our plans didn't work out like we wish they would have worked out. But that's not a knock on us. Our plan wasn't what it needed to be. So now it's just time to reinvent that plan. Use that tragedy as a springboard to move you back to triumph. Let's use that pain for purpose. So you've got the option. You can either use that as an anchor to keep you held down, or you can use that as a propeller to get you back to where it is you want to go. And most of you are saying, but God, I was right there, Jay. Why did I do that? It doesn't matter. What matters right now is that you open your eyes, hold your head high, and you start showing up every single day for you. And I want to go back to the reason I did this podcast just to begin with. Go back to the simplicity of the basics. Go back to the little things. If you gained 100 pounds, go uber granular. Go back to the tiniest little things that you did to lose that 100 pounds in the first place. Don't start searching the internet for magic bullets and magic potions and lotions and all those things. If you're someone who's psychologically not feeling your best, you feel cloudy, you feel stuck in that languishing space, don't go searching for some kind of grandiose thing that's going to move you out of there. Simply get granular with your routine. Go back to the basics. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with voices and inputs that make you feel positive and powerful. You need to be empowered right now. That's why I want you to hear this podcast. I'd like for you to listen to it again. I want this podcast to empower you to understand that no matter what happened, it's okay. No matter where you are, it's okay. No matter where you are, you don't have to stay there. All you need to do to get out of that place is go back to your routine, back to the most granular, simplistic things that you did in the first place, consistently. It won't be a day. It won't be a week. It won't be a month. It won't be 2 months. You're going to need to be consistent with that, and you're going to have to get okay with that consistency. You're going to have to get comfortable with that consistency, even though it's going to be uncomfortable at first, because you're not going to get the results that you want. And here's the thing that I want to leave you with. It's not going to be linear. You're going to have days where you feel that heaviness. On those days, the important thing for you to do is double down on the simplicity. Double down on your gratitude. Make sure you go to the gym on those days. Make sure you do the little things on those days, because those are the days that create the power inside of your routine. It's easy, guys, to do the little things on the days that you feel amazing. It's still important to do it on those days, but it's on the days when you feel the heaviest that you've got to get your butt out of bed. You've got to get your butt dressed. You've got to get to the gym. You've got to go for that walk. You've got to get on your Peloton. You've got to eat healthy. Deal? It's on those days. It's not on the easy days. Winners aren't made on the easy days. They're made on the challenging days. Right now, all your training's about to pay off. All of your consistency in the past is about to be called upon, because you're in the game now. And get in the game and play the game. And sometimes during the game, you're not always winning. See, that's the misconception that human beings have is we're like, but I'm not where I want to be. I'm not winning. Well, guess what, guys? The game's not over. The scoreboard still has time left on it. And oftentimes the team that's winning at halftime isn't the team that wins in the end. So it doesn't matter what's on the scoreboard right now. What matters is that you keep playing and you keep playing at your highest level. And the best thing you can do in the most chaotic times is do the little things. Do them well, do them consistently, do them religiously, and do them with some power and some positivity. I felt this was important to talk about today. I hope you found some value in this. If you did, my suggestion would be this. Here's my concern. We don't know, right? We don't know the negative ramifications. And my purpose for this podcast, for my Thrive Forever Fit program, for my fitness studio, for everything, is to help people help themselves, to help people feel better about life, to help people live the life that they really, really want to live. And I can tell you this, the more people that we get hearing messages like this, the better off we're going to be as a collective. So my ask is this of you. If you found value in this episode, share it with your friend, share it with your mom, your brother, your husband, your sister, your wife, your cousin, somebody that you think might need to hear just a simple message. But there's nothing epiphanal about what I said today. There's no golden egg here. There's no magic formula, but it's the simplicity of the message that might just get somebody out of that depressive, languishing stage and closer to that flourishing state, which, let's be honest, we need more people feeling like they're flourishing right now than we have. That's the only way we're going to get out of this collective heaviness that the world is under right now. You got to start granular. You got to start with you, and then that's got to ripple out to your circle of success and then get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the only way we can do that, guys, is if we get people hearing the same messages of positivity and power. There's enough negativity out there. There's enough magic pills out there. There's enough nonsense out there. So if you found value in this, highly suggest and would love it if you would share it with somebody. Secondarily, if you're not part of my Wellness Lab Launchpad, it's my free Facebook group. And the reason I try to drive you there is I want to get you to a place in the social media world that is magic filled. And what I mean by magic is there's no drama, there's no negativity, there's no mistruths, there's no have truths, there's no nonsense. It's the safest place that you'll find on the internet. It's called the Wellness Lab Launchpad. It's my free Facebook group. You can simply go to thriveforeverfit.com. That's my website. On the very homepage, there's a giant box that says join the Wellness Lab. It's 100% free. You won't be sold anything. You won't be marketed to. You won't be anything. It's a safe place for you to ask any questions about health, fitness, mindset, personal development, anything you have a question about. If I don't have the answer, I've got a resource that will have the answer. So I invite you there to get you to a place where you know that there's going to be people there that love you, support you, that hold you high, and that have these same values that you do. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope this episode hit home. I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Be awesome to yourself. Be awesome to each other, and simply get back to that routine. Get back to the simplistic basics. If you need some help with that, the best place to go, Wellness Lab Launchpad. Hit me up, send me a note. I'll give you a simple structure of what you need to do every single day to get you moving in the right direction, and then you can create your own routine off of that. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Love you. See you in a bit. Bye.